What's up, guys? What's going on? Well, hope everybody got to see a stream of mine earlier. Put out a video earlier today about, well, no, it was yesterday. I'm sorry. I had my wife help me out. I thought it was great. You should go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It's just that optimistic, pessimistic thing that I post out. Hey, what's going on, Comets? What's going on? Of course you're on here first. You are awesome. I'm sorry. I've got my camera right in front of the chat. So I'm like trying to see who's saying what. Few things differently here. Let me move my camera. It'll look a little funny. Hold on. There we go. That looks better. Honestly, all right, Brandon, I appreciate your thoughts on that, but I'll tell you what. That first quarter was bad for Indy. It started off bad because of the stupid fumble that Jack Doyle had, and that gave the Bengals that short field, which gave them 7-0 right away. Bad decision. And then the next two drives on either side, because it's funny. I think the Indianapolis Colts did fine. I'm not getting worried because I think they did fine. What happened was the Colts play on defense a cover 2 zone, and they play a base cover 2 zone to start every game with. Every game they play a base cover 2 zone. And then as the game progresses, Matt Eberflus makes changes, right? Well, it only took, 2.5 drives before Matt Eberflus made those changes. Granted, they were up 21-0 at that point, but he was making those changes as they went rather than at halftime, which is where he normally makes them. Offensively, Reich decided, you know what? I'm just going to put the game in Rivers' hands because we need something to happen. Let Rivers make the calls, basically. No huddle. Go quick. We're down 21-0. See what he can do. Put the game on his shoulders for the first time all year, really. And they closed that gap at halftime. It was like 21-10 or something like that. That's right. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Devin? So, honestly, I'm not too worried about it because outside of that first quarter, Indy dominated this game on offense and defense. But that first quarter, those 2 drives, 2.5 drives, because I'm only counting that first one for the Bengals as a half a drive because they got the ball in their own stinking territory, right? I mean, they only had to take it 40-some yards for a touchdown. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Devin. 6 points in the last 3 quarters for the Bengals. That's exactly what I'm saying. Our defense, Matt Eberflus made his adjustments at the end of the first quarter rather than at halftime, and they just became dominant again. I mean, almost over half of I think 3 quarters. 3 quarters of Joe Burrow's passing yardage and 3 quarters of the rushing yardage for the Bengals came in the first quarter of the game, not the final 3 quarters. Burrow tried to make that comeback at the end. Not too worried about that. Now, I'll tell you what, it wasn't looking good in the first quarter. Because I'll be perfectly honest, I even tweeted this during the game. It was a little after halftime when I tweeted, when it started out 21-0, it was just a few seconds into the second quarter when it was 21-0. I damn near turned my game. I almost turned the TV off. I was thoroughly upset because it looked like the Colts weren't ready. But then I had to remind myself, the Colts come in base defense. They come in base offense. And then they make their changes. It Reich is not. We also got to remember something else too. Reich does not base his game plan around the other team. Reich bases his game plan on his own team and makes the other team's defense play to our game plan. At least that's what his thought process is. He wants to go out there and force his will with his team. And then if it doesn't work, then he has to adjust. Well, this time it didn't work. Okay? He wanted to run the football. The Bengals knew that he wanted to run the football. But when the Colts became 21 down early, running the football kind of got out of it. Now, at halftime, we were only down 2 scores rather than 3. Then we could start worrying about once we got that first stop in the second half, the Colts had the ball and we were only down by 2 scores. That's when I think Indy could have went back to the run a little bit. They didn't, but they should have. More so. But Reich was so much on fire at that point that you didn't want to put a fire extinguisher to Rivers' game right now. You didn't want to just start running the ball heavy and cool off Rivers' arm, because Rivers was looking absolutely fantastic outside of that one really stupid pass where he threw it in the double coverage to Zach Pascal. Let's get back into some of these. Eberflus has 2 weeks to look at what happened and fix the vulnerabilities. That's what Brian says. Apollo says, Colts see the pass rush. Honestly, I think we have a pass rush. The only problem is Eberflus on his base defense does not want to send extra people. You don't look at other teams and see, a base 4 only rushing the front 4 on every play like Eberflus does. He never blitzes. But when he starts sending them, that's when we get serious pass rush. We get decent pass rush out of our front 4, just not enough to really take over a game. When we start sending it, that's when it happens. But that's the same as any team. It's just Eberflus doesn't like to send it because he wants to put those guys back there. He wants 7 guys covering the field. That's why we got the number 1 pass defense in the NFL, still the number 3 rush defense in the NFL. Even after the Browns game, even after Cincinnati. Why? Because we're just good. It's a good team. And don't forget, we didn't even have Darius Leonard out there. Do you think Eberflus leaving the team coaching spot after this season? God, I hope not, Devin. I hope not, Devin. Charger. Most of the first quarter, I wanted to throw my phone. The rest of the game, I was happy. See, I wasn't watching on the phone. I was watching right here on my computer because I can watch every game on my computer. But I was the same way. I was just about ready to shut it all down, go take a nap. You can't send 5-6 guys playing base zone coverage. Exactly. That's the problem. You can send. Hey, Justin, welcome to the stream. We're talking about basically right now, we're on the whole idea of how the Colts can increase the pass rush without hurting the pass defense, like the coverage that Eberflus wants to use. I don't know if I want John Ross. John Ross is Philip Dorsett. Almost dead on. Would you take, easy question to put that, would you want Philip Dorsett back on the Colts right now? I think Marcus Johnson did a hell of a job. I think we're fine with Marcus Johnson. And if Pittman or Campbell come back in the next 2 or 3 weeks, that'd be great too. That would be great too. Don't forget, also, guys, don't forget, next week, I believe, Kemoko Toure is eligible to come off the PUP list. So let's cross our fingers, knock on some wood, and hope that we might get Kemoko Turay back. We might. I doubt it. That'll be what, 3 weeks? Next week will be 3 weeks outside of his last surgery. I don't know if that'll give him enough time to heal up with Pittman. Campbell, maybe, because we haven't got. Okay, so I asked Jake Arthur about Pittman and Campbell, and he said that next week we will get more information on both of them. Okay, so hopefully this time next week we'll know a little bit more about where the recovery process for Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman are. And defensive end, yeah, could use a spark at defense. If Kemoko Turay comes back, that'd be great, wouldn't it? If Kemoko Turay is able to come back, again, we'll know that next week. I don't know if he will, but I'm hoping. I mean, he's eligible to. So that would be a great thing for us if we could possibly get his butt back. Because we all saw what he's able to do when he's healthy. And it's been, what, a year and a month? No, it's been about a year to the day right now, right? A year to the day that when he busted that ankle and went through, what, 7 surgeries? Oh, my goodness. Brandon says, I'm not going to lie, but I was completely wrong about the Titans. They are legit. They are. And you know what? You know how many Colts fans told me I was so full of crap when I said Ryan Tannehill is for real? That now that he's on a real team with real talent, real offensive line, and a real head coach, that he was going to be dominant? That no longer, he's no longer with Adam Gase, the quarterback killer? Because that's who his head coach was in Miami, Adam Gase. Now imagine going from Adam Gase to Mike Vrabel. And going from that Miami offensive line and those wide receivers to what Tennessee has. He's solid. Very solid. Harrison Height. Welcome to the stream, my guy. Appreciate you being here. If you guys don't, go check out his stuff. He's got a YouTube here as well, Harrison Height. Go check him out. Give him subscribe to his channel. Give him a follow. He says, would I give up a second rounder for Sam Darnold? Honestly, absolutely. If that's the cost, I don't think anyone would have to give up more than a second rounder. Maybe a second and a fourth. If our second round, people think that our second rounder is going to be a really late second rounder, we might have to give up a late second and a late fourth. I would give it in a heartbeat for Sam Darnold. Heartbeat. He's worth a late first right now, in my opinion. I would definitely give that. It's Josh Norman, Brandon. It's Josh Norman. He's a cornerback. Okay? When Derrick Henry stiff-armed somebody the way Marlon Mack stiff-armed Jadeveon Clowney and put him to the ground, come back and say rest in peace. Surely you remember that video or that move. What, in 2018, I think it was? Kelvin says Tannehill wasn't that bad. I agree. He wasn't. Oh, no, Justin, I'm not giving up on Jacob Eason by trading for Sam Darnold. Think of it this way. You would have 2 young quarterbacks. And what does Ballard say? The more darts you throw, the more times you get a chance of hitting your target. That's how I see it. I mean, we're going to have Jacob. He's a 4th rounder. So there's a damn good chance that even if he's not a starter in 2 or 3 years, we can still re-sign him for an extension on the cheap. If we get Sam Darnold and he starts playing out of his mind. Or if Sam Darnold isn't worth it, then we can throw in Eason and see what he's got. I'm just saying I like the idea of going and getting Sam Darnold. He is a fast tight end, Devin. Derrick Henry. Yeah, 6'3", 240. Yes. Because Darnold's young. He's got a cannon. He can move. Much the same as Jacob Eason. He's a lot like Jacob Eason. I think Darnold's probably more mobile than Eason is, but he's also been in the league a while. And he's dealt with adversity. So, I mean, we can't say that Sam Darnold hasn't dealt with adversity at all. Yes, Brandon. Yes, they do have good receivers over there in Tennessee. Definitely. A.J. Brown is a stud, okay? And then their slot guy, Adam Humphries. He's a good slot guy. Now, I'm still waiting on their former first rounder to step up and be something that we all thought that he could be, but he hasn't done that yet. Devin says he was at the game against the Jets and watching Darnold evade pressure and tackles was insane. I know. But you know what's funny? Every quarterback's been doing that against the Colts. Every quarterback's been able to avoid because we only send 4. So, I mean, come on. I think Eberflus needs to come out blitzing early. I don't think he's going to do that until the Ravens game. I don't think the Eberflus is going to come out firing on all cylinders with his defense until the Ravens game. I think he's saving it for the Ravens game because he don't want to tip him off that he would do something like that. Justin, good question. How do I think our linebackers will fail against Henry? Big old King Henry. Well, let's talk about this. I've seen Derrick Henry stiff arm Darius Leonard to the ground like a sack of potatoes. But I've seen Malik Hooker, wrap Henry up low and bring him down to the ground with a perfect tackle. I think the Colts are starting to learn that since we've been around and playing against Henry so much, that you don't go high like everybody else does. You have to dive through his legs in order to tackle Henry. And I think that's something that's getting – he's only had one 100-yard game against us. Well, technically he's had 2. I think he's had 2 100-yard games in his career. And, I mean, he's played us 2 times a year guaranteed. And I think once or twice in the playoffs. And he's had 2 out of 8 games, he's had 100 yards on us. But I'm actually really excited. I'm glad they sat Darius Leonard. I think that he probably could have played with that groin injury. I'm glad they sat him and let him rest up. That way he had 4 weeks of rest before coming back. The way he's 100% healthy. Because groin injuries are one of those kinds of injuries that are weird, right? They could, if you don't get it 100% healthy, it can linger with them the entire year. And Leonard's entire ability is based on his side-to-side movement and speed. And that's all in the groin area. You don't want him having a lingering groin problem. So let him get fully healed up and ready for this Lions game in a couple weeks. Oh, no. See, I think Derrick Henry is more like illegitimate son between Marshawn Lynch and the Bus, okay? Because the Bus is a bigger, taller dude, and Lynch is a smaller, beefier dude, whereas the Bus is taller and beefier. So I think it's a mix between the two, and he's got speed to go with it. So that's just my thought. He is deceptively fast. I've said that. talk about the Texans. You know, the Texans have been actually pretty darn good. You know, remember all the games they played against. They've been playing against some of the best teams in the NFL. All of them. I mean, figure. Undefeated Titans, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. Wasn't it the Pittsburgh Steelers, too, who are still undefeated? Those are 4 out of their 5 games that they played. We can't judge them too harshly yet. Let's see them play. And a few of those games they were really into. I mean, they took the Titans to the overtime. And that's something that I wasn't expecting. And they did. So let's not just look at the Texans and go, oh, they ain't nobody. They can't win a game. I mean, come on. They got the hard end of their schedule out of the way. Now they're on the second part of their easy part of the schedule. And Devin's right. I don't know about 9-7, but I could see him going 8-8. Pretty easy. Except the first game. You know what's funny? Brian says that the run game hasn't been good, but their pass game has. What's funny is the run game hasn't been good because they haven't really put into the run game, which is scary. Because that first week, David Johnson looked like a beast, right? David Johnson looked good. And he can catch out of the back. They are a scary passing team. I mean, scary passing team. That we're the only jet. I don't count week 1, Devin. I don't count week 1. That was our preseason game. Every week 1 game in the NFL was every team's preseason game. That's that. Coachella Coastal, welcome to the stream. And appreciate you joining in on the chat here. Guys, don't forget, smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and share this to your social media. Just hit that little button down here where it says share. Copy it to your clipboard, paste it to your social media, your Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Really appreciate it, man. I don't get a lot of those. And if you're able to do that for me, I would really, really appreciate it. I had one like now I got 6. I got 17 people watching live and 6 likes. Come on, guys, please. Appreciate it. So you can never actually look at week 1, especially this year. Oh, yes. I don't know because I still like Deshaun Watson. Technically, Ryan Tannehill is playing better than Deshaun Watson right now. I'll give you that, Brandon. Right now, Ryan Tannehill, to be fair, over the last year, 16 regular season games, not counting playoffs. Over the last 16 regular season games, Ryan Tannehill's played better than any other NFL quarterback. Go look up he has like 125 quarterback rating over his past 16 regular season games. I mean, that's just stupid. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate that. He shared it to his Facebook. So I appreciate that a lot. Even though you're a Ravens fans, I do like Tennessee, the type of team that you kind of want. I agree, dude. I agree. I mean, that's what they've got a very good run game. They got a solid all-around defense, well coached, a good quarterback, game-managing quarterback that's not going to take chances, but can put the team on his back when he needs to. And he's shown it. He's had like a 400-yard game already this season with like 4 touchdowns. Yeah, right now, Russell Wilson, I'm saying over the past 16. I'm not saying over these past 6 weeks. Over the past 6 weeks, Russell Wilson is MVP. There's no question about it. Russell Wilson is MVP, no question. Aaron Rodgers is up there, but his last game against Tampa Bay, that's going to hurt him statistically. Yeah, but you got FaZe. FaZe, welcome to the stream as well. I know you've been here the whole time, my guy. Those Corona players, they're only out for 2 weeks. So by the time we play them, I mean, heck, by next week, all those Corona players will be back. So it really won't matter. And they got Pittsburgh coming up in a couple weeks, the game that they had to put back to play. That'll be a game. It's the only 2 undefeated teams left in the AFC. I mean, good Lord. Oh, hey, Brandon. You're talking about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys versus Cardinals. You know, I watched that game over and over and over. And, you know, Andy Dalton played really well. You might look at it and go, he didn't, but he did. He played well. He had one bad pass. But he himself played really well, considering his players were dropping the football. I mean, wide open. Zeke dropped the ball twice. Zeke fumbled the ball twice. That interception where his receiver just fell down because of the contact. No offensive line. 2 years ago, Dallas Cowboys had the best offensive line in football. Right now, they have none of those starters starting right now because Zach Martin was the last one. He went out yesterday in that game with a freaking concussion early on. So here's Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, trying to play football with no offensive line. They've got they got practice squad guys starting on their offensive line, blocking for him. I'm amazed he survived that game. Yet he was still accurate, threw the ball well, and did great under the pressure that he was under. I think Andy Dalton would be – he probably thought he was still with the Bengals, how bad that offensive line was yesterday. And that's just facts. Ugh. Hold on. I need something to drink. My throat's getting sore. What we got here? Brian said something that people are talking. Oh, yeah, we have 4 games against the top 5 teams over the course of the next 5 games. And do not undersell the Detroit Lions. Now, I will definitely have a pregame to that. But you cannot undersell. They got talent. They played some good teams. And Matt Stafford is kind of like Aaron Rodgers in a way of he can put the team on his back when no one else is playing good and win a game for him. So don't undersell Detroit. Don't undersell them. No, I don't want John Ross. I know, FaZe, you asked about that. Most people here don't want John Ross because we look at it this way, FaZe. Just look at it this way. Would you re-sign Philip Dorsett? Because John Ross is Philip Dorsett. That's just that. If they have Stafford, I'll never underestimate the Lions. Justin Whitmer says, amen to that, my guy. Amen to that. I think the Steelers and the Titans are the best teams. And they're undefeated. Well, I think the Titans have the best balanced offense with a very good defense. And the Steelers have the best aggressive, in-your-face defense and a balanced offense. They're good on both sides of the football, but flip where they're the best at, you know? No, I wouldn't even put money on that. Dude, I honestly, I think the Colts will be fine. Wide receiver-wise, I think we'll be fine, especially if we can get Campbell and Pittman back, or even one of them in the next couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks. If we get either one of them back by the Ravens game, I'd be excited. But Marcus Johnson is a real deep threat. You saw it. How about all this crap about Phillip Rivers can't throw the ball downfield, by the way? Now, I get he doesn't have the super zip that you want on these little outside corner throws that you know, for back shoulder throws out along the sideline. He doesn't have the zip for that. But he's got the oomph to get the football down the field for big plays. That's what we need. That's what we've been missing. And he showed us Sunday that he can do that still. So I'm not too worried about that. As long as he stays away from trying to throw those sideline throws, then we're fine. But the problem is that kind of takes away that, unless the cornerback is playing way off the receiver, that he doesn't have any business throwing sideline throws. Yeah, as long as Rivers protected, it works. Yeah. Oh, hey. Is that Jonte or Yante? Glenn, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate you, my guy. Crazy Marcus Johnson ain't even on Madden. It's because of practice squad. It's because it's practice squad. Can we win the game against the Titans? Or are we getting swept this season by them? Oh, no. We ain't getting swept by the Titans. We're never swept by the Titans. We'll win at least one of those games. I still have us splitting with the Titans and the Texans. It's just how it works. It's divisional games, man. Divisional teams, no matter how good you are, your divisional teams play you good. Look at Kansas City. They just lost to the Raiders, right? Divisional rivals. Ryan Kerrigan, because we need a true pass rusher. He's stealing money. Yeah, that's right. Judon's playing on the tag, isn't he? If I remember correctly. Has the Washington football team put Ryan Kerrigan on the trade block? I haven't looked at that. Oh, no. We don't need to put Marcus number one. I put him as the number two. I would rather have Zach Pascal as our number one because he's the big body, strong-handed receiver. But I want T.Y. in the slot, dag on it. Yes, you're right about that. Put T.Y. in the slot because his shiftiness and speed would be more effective in the slot for Phillip Rivers than with him sitting on the outside trying to run post routes. At least that's my thought. But the Bengals game, let's get back to the Bengals. This is supposed to be a Bengals post game. What was some things that you liked and some things we didn't like? Obviously, don't bring up the 21-0. We've already talked about that. All right. About the Colts giving up 21 points in the first quarter, basically, because they got that third touchdown just a few seconds into the second quarter. But outside of that, my goodness, Phillip Rivers can run a 2-minute offense, can he? Let's talk about that catch from Jack Doyle. Did everyone see that catch by Jack Doyle in the end zone where he laid out and caught that sucker and came down? Man, when he landed and he just laid there afterwards, I thought he got hurt. I thought he got hurt again. But he came back and played again, but whoo. Yeah, Blackman's been playing out of his mind since he's been starting. I agree with that. Concern about the running game. Michael Hurst asks. No, I'm not concerned. They went away from the run game against the Bengals. And they went away from it because they were down so much. But we were running the ball well against them. I mean, what was he got, like 4.8 or something like that was what he was averaging against him? Let me go check that out real quick. It won't take me long. I'm sorry, guys. Stats. What's up, kitty? My cat's asking me about. No, he ran average 5 yards a carry, but he only carried the ball 12 times. He only carried the ball 12 times because we fell behind. I think we should have ran the ball more with him in the second half, but they didn't. Still skeptical because what happens when it's playoff and the game's on the line? Well, this game was on the line, and see what happened there. And he did that against a top 5 passing defense because the Bengals had a really good pass defense before this game. Remember that. But that was the only thing that was good on this team. Yeah, a lot of the little quick outs that he had. I seen that too, Devin. I seen that too. But what else did I see in that game that I liked a lot? I liked the fact that Eberflus had his secondary switch up. They were still playing zone, but they did what I thought they should have done. When they played that zone, they brought the safeties back a little bit further, right? He dropped them safeties a little bit further, and he made them play a tighter zone up front with the corners and the linebackers so that whenever anyone went within their zone, they immediately kind of moved towards them rather than just sat in the middle of their zone staring at the quarterback. That's what happened. And then, of course, we all saw Darius Leonard out there on the sideline just giving up a speech. Now, see, Leonard, if he was on the field, he could have been doing that with him right there on the field, but he wasn't on the field. That's something we've missed the last couple weeks. I still think Taylor needs to run away from tackles when he can, rather than go right at him. That's the only thing that's the bad thing I see about Jonathan Taylor. He will run right towards the tackle and try to run him over rather than use his speed and try to outrun him along towards the sideline. Yes, Tyquan Lewis, Justin, you're right. He did have himself a game. He got a lot of good penetration in there on that offensive line. Got some pressures, got some nice tackles for losses. Yes, we did see the guy. We saw Taylor run him over. But you only going to do that so much. These are the pros. These guys are bigger, stronger, faster than college. You have 4.3 speed. Use that 4.3 speed. Right? Okereke and Anthony Walker have both played very well ever since Darius Leonard's been gone. Both those guys have played straight up great. We may have the 3 best starting linebackers in football. We very well may have. No, Hines didn't get any rushing attempts, Brian. And I'm kind of glad they didn't. Because here's the deal. Hines was in the game, but while he was in the game, they were in that hurry-up mode, and they never tried to run the football with him in there. And it's amazing that they were still able to be as effective as they were passing the football with Hines in. And the defense pretty much knew they were going to be throwing the football because Hines was in. Rock is a physical corner. Rock Ya-Sin is a physical corner. Now, you're going to have this with Rock. You're going to have up and down games. It all has a lot to do with how referees are calling a game. But he's a physical corner. He's going to get up in your face. Okay? He's going to get physical with you. And if the wide receiver is good enough to elude that first physical bump from Rock, then you got him beat. And that's what happened on that long, deep pass. He avoided the bump from Rock. Rock got lost, got turned around, and just got beat. How about Xavier Rhodes, though? Yo. What about Xavier Rhodes? I said all offseason, when Xavier Rhodes is healthy, he's an all-pro. Through the first 6 weeks of the NFL this season with the Colts, he's played at an all-pro level. Absolutely outstanding. Best corner on our team. Extend this guy. As long as he stays healthy, extend this guy. It's been rosed closed. Come on. All the Vikings fans, oh, he's washed. He ain't worth a darn. He ain't the same guy he was in 2017. And then I went back and I looked at the film. I even posted it here on YouTube. I was like, look at the film, guys. When he was healthy at the beginning of 2018 and 2019, he was still a lockdown corner against guys like Julio Jones, against guys like Tyreek Hill and Watson. He was locked down. Then he got hurt. Then he had lower body injuries, core injury, calf injury, knee injury, all that stuff that affects a cornerback's ability to stay with a wide receiver. And yet the Vikings as a team kept him playing with those injuries, made him play through those injuries instead of saying, you know what, sit down, get healthy. We're going to need you for the playoffs, or we're going to need you later on this year at your best. No, they freaking made him play through those injuries, and it lingered the entire season and affected his play, and that's why everybody thought he was trash. Colts won't do that. You see guys, I mean, look, Darius Leonard could have probably played, like I said earlier, but they want him playing at his healthiest. They would do the same thing with Rhodes. I don't know if Blackman's going to be Rookie of the Year, dude. There's some other guys out there, right? Defensive Rookie? No, not even because Chase has been outstanding. I think that's who it was, right? I might have that name messed up. Hold on. Yeah. Chase Young. He's played pretty darn good for Washington, so. Dude, Pierre Desir's been good. The problem with Pierre Desir is he gets burnt too easy. Pierre plays bigger receivers very well. He can't keep up with fast receivers. All right, when you have elusive receivers, he's a hindrance to the team. You put him up against guys who are big body guys, like, say, A.J. Brown. He would play very well against A.J. Brown. He would play very well against Higgins, right? Guys like that. You put him up against Tyreek Hill, he's burnt, gone. TJ Carey has played over the last few seasons. He came in Sunday, when Rock went out for a short time. He played pretty good. But now the Colts have a defense. And their defense is still, you know what? You know how funny the NFL is? The Colts have the number 1 pass defense and the number 3 run defense right now in the NFL. But they're third or fourth total in total yards. How weird is that? You have the number 1 pass, the number 3 rush, but like third or fourth total. I mean, it's barely third or fourth by like 30 yards. keep giving him time. I think Rodgers will be okay. He needs more snaps. I got a question. There was a few questionable times when there was a fair catch called on a punt. That's my only issue. Where he could have caught it. Him and Hines both. They could have caught the ball and returned it and instead called for a fair catch. But Rodgers won't be a receiver. Don't worry about that. I don't think Rodgers is going to end up being a receiver this year at all. At least not in the starting sense. He might come in if there's an injury or you need a breather, but I don't see him coming in as a starting sense. I mean, we sign guys off of other people's practice squads and onto our practice squad. We're playing them over the rookie Rodgers. That's got to tell you something. Okay? Feeling confident. Michael Hurst, that's great. Feeling confident with the defense going back on the field when there's still time left on the clock. That's new. I agree. When was the last time? When was the last time that we've actually been like, you know what? The strength of the Colts is their defense. What? You don't hear that. That's not something you see every day. It's weird. Feels weird. Feels very, very odd. Hey, I want to welcome everyone that's here, by the way. 23 viewers. I got 12 likes. Smash this like button, guys. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And again, like I said earlier, share to your social media, man. Just click that little button right down here where it says share. Copy it to your clipboard. Send it to Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Appreciate it. I have a problem. I can't wait for Mo Alley Cox to come back. I hope he's okay. What was that, a foot injury, I think it was? I hope he'll be healthy. I hope we have a healthy team. I didn't look to see about injury report. Did you guys check out any of the injury reports? Because I haven't actually looked at the YouTube yesterday. I'm sure Reich addressed the media. Normally I do. But did anyone come out of that game hurt? Because I'm curious about that. Oh, well, yeah, that was kind of weird. The Trey Burton Indy special. But, yeah, I haven't checked on that. So I don't know who got injured. Now, I'm sure there was some kind of injuries that came up in the game against the Bengals. But I haven't looked. I need to check that out. Everyone came out healthy. Jack Adams. Thanks, my guy, for letting me know. Appreciate that. Reich said no injuries. Thank you, Michael. That's awesome. I haven't heard that ever. I don't think I've ever seen a game go through and say, well, we didn't have any injuries afterwards. What? That don't happen. That don't happen. But that's great. That's great. You can't ask for more. You go down 21-0, you come back, you win the game, and then you do it and not even get anyone injured in the process? Heck yeah. I'm okay with that. Whitmer wants to know my opinion on running and pass blocking. They're fine. Pass blocking's fine. I mean, Rivers didn't have that many pressures. So he was good against Cincy. He didn't have to worry about it because he had AC protecting his blind side. Run blocking is there. Jonathan Taylor just doesn't hit the right hole at the right time, and he's not patient. That's his only issue, okay? But I think through time and experience learning, we'll get that down. Really hope to see Pittman and Teray next week in practice. Me too. Damian Mathis, we may get Michael Pittman and Teray back. Teray can be coming off the PUP list next week. Doesn't necessarily mean he will. We all thought he was going to start this season, and come to find out that he was behind on his rehab because of the 7 surgeries. And remember, Pittman just had his second surgery 3 weeks ago, so we don't know if he'll be back. I'm thinking more along the line of Campbell, because Campbell's PCL generally takes about 6 weeks. And it's been about 6 weeks now, about 5. So we should be hearing something about Campbell soon. A Google user says your dirty bomb face from earlier's video was classic. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I took a little bit more effort to make that video than I'm used to making. And it's a little longer than the other, parody videos that I've made. But I had a lot of fun making it. Michael says no info on Campbell worries me. They've specifically not said anything about Pittman, Teray, or Campbell on purpose until this coming week. Like I said earlier, Jake Arthur was saying that the coaches were going to address all 3 of those names next week. So I'm hoping for that. Mo Alley Cox. Dude, Mo Alley Cox is a blocking machine. He's good. I think right now Mo might be better than Doyle overall, but Doyle has more experience. Does that make sense? Physically, I think Mo Alley Cox is physically better at blocking and catching than Doyle. But because of Doyle's playing experience, to go with his skill sets, he's just a better tight end to have on the field right now. Alpha says we better win against the bye. That's a good joke. We should. I hope. It is musical chairs with the tight ends, Harrison. It's amazing that we have 3 good tight ends. Amazing. I'm so glad that the Colts decided to elevate Mo Alley Cox, play him more, go get out Trey Burton, and release that one guy. Oh, by the way, that one guy that shall not be named that plays on Pittsburgh is playing actually pretty good on Pittsburgh. So, and we'll have our chance to play against him, as you know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been here 54 minutes now. Wow. I think I'm going to be done here. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to jump off here because I got a film room breakdown that I got to do for my Sportscaster tomorrow. Don't forget to check me out on Sportscaster. Go over to Sportscaster, type in Lawrence Owen, all capital letters, or Lawrence Owen NFL, because that's my other channel. The Lawrence Owen in all capital letters is everything that I do, whether it's my Sportscaster news, whether it's my Colts Law stuff, whether it's my podcast, whether it's my film rooms. It's all of it, all right? I have a specific channel, me and about 9 other guys out there that are actually employed by Sportscaster to do this stuff. We have our specific own channels. So, hey, go over there, check that out. I'm going to try to bring that out around 3 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time, okay? Will be my film room. Real quick before I go, let's drop a vote. Do we want to see? Actually, you know what, guys? I don't think I've done a defensive back film room yet, guys. You guys want to see me do one of those? Go over the film room, the all 22 on the defensive backs from the Colts Bengals game. I think that would be a good one to watch, a good one to drop. I think that'd be something I haven't done yet. Yes, Michael, is there an app for sports? If you have an iPhone, they don't have one for Android yet. I know, Alpha, I know, but you were outvoted that one time, man. I'm sorry. But this time, that's why I brought it up, right? Because you brought it up before. I think two of you brought it up past defense. So I'll go over it this time. All right. Cole Tinkle, thanks, guys. Thanks you. Don't forget, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share this, and check me out on Sportscaster. Don't forget, I am on Twitter at Colts_law. And until next time, as usual, thank you, everyone that's been here. I love talking to all of you. Thanks so much. Until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. Have a good one.